Where are you from?
I'm from Color Ridge, Miami, Florida. It's a small hood in Miami, you know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people talk about, but there's still a lot going on down there. People like to think of Miami only as Carroll City and North Miami, Opelika, and Brown Subs, and all the stuff they see on First 48, stuff like that, you know, what's in the media. But it's a whole nother side of the hood down south, like from Florida City, Homestead, Perrine, Naranja, Cutler Ridge, where I'm from, Richmond Heights, you know what I'm saying, Kendall. It's a bunch of other places, Westchester, that don't really get mentioned. And you know what I'm saying, there's a whole nother side of things down there where it's still on and popping, and basically that's where I'm from. I'm from the bottom, like the real bottom, down south.
Still living in Miami?
Still living in Miami. Staying in, you know, I'm staying in the city now. I rise, things changing.
Must be nice.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the come up. Part of the struggle is to come up.
What was it like for you growing up in Miami? Can you paint the picture for us?
Growing up in Miami, competitive, very competitive, you know what I'm saying? From everything, like sports is very competitive. I grew up playing sports. Sports in Miami is very competitive, you know, like we're one of the first classes people come to recruit. You know, they come looking down here because of the athleticism and, you know what I'm saying, like the speed down here, the athletes, period. So, you know what I'm saying? But everything from sports to going to school when you're young, you got to have a fresh robe, and you know what I'm saying? You got to go get them goals in your mouth, and you need a designer belt, and you know, you got to get them Jordans, you know what I'm saying? Like, coming from where I was from, you know what I'm saying, my parents wouldn't give that to me. That was something you had to go get on your own. That was not a necessity. My parents was going to give me 5 outfits for the week, you know what I'm saying? If that. 1 pair of shoes, you know what I'm saying, make it work. So, I mean, I guess that's part of, like, what gave me that Miami Hustlers mentality that I had to, from a young age, know I had to get up and get it on my own, you know what I'm saying? I knew that nobody wasn't going to give you nothing.
Looking back, was that a rough upbringing for you?
I want to say that it was rough. I feel like even if I was rich today, I'll bring my kids up somewhat in the same way. Like, I want them to know that they have to get up and get their own, and you know that, like, nothing is given to them. Like, nothing is, you know, nothing is handed over. You know, like, I wouldn't say like I was in the worst struggle. I have friends doing a lot worse than me, you know what I'm saying? But my parents did all they could, you know what I'm saying? And I thank them for that. We weren't like homeless or doing that bad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they're decent middle class parents that couldn't afford that extra, you know what I'm saying? The extra thing your other homeboy had where he was buying a new jersey and Jordans every week. Like, my parents didn't have it like that. So that made me hustle for those things, you know what I'm saying? I had to dig down deep to be that nigga, you know what I'm saying?
As a kid, did you get into trouble?
Got into a lot of trouble.
What was the most serious thing you got into?
Man, I don't know where to start. I was on the news in high school. Got into a fight with some of my teammates from the football team, actually, like a whole, how I say, that whole little north-south thing, you know what I'm saying? We from the south, they were from the north, and basically it was a year where we actually had just made history because we took our high school to playoffs for the first time in history by bringing all these, you know what I'm saying, bringing all these schools together. This was the No Child Left Behind, George Bush Act, and all of that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And basically, like, kids at less fortunate schools could come to our school. So we had kids from Edison and Northwestern and Jackson and whatever coming to our school. We did good in football, but at the end of the day, territories rule, you know what I'm saying? I was a real quiet kid, so, you know, I ain't say too much. I guess this one dude felt like he could pick on me, not really knowing my background, not knowing the type of people I grew up around, or who was my family, who was my cousins, who was, you know what I'm saying, who would be coming to the rescue. And basically we got into it, you know, like, he was a bigger kid. He was like 22 in high school. And I was like 16. I was real small, you know what I'm saying? and he tried me. He said something about my brother I didn't like. I told him take it back. He didn't take it back. It started with a fist fight, and it just turned into a lot of other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Basically, we ran inside the high school, went to night school looking for these guys. At this point, I'm linked up with, you know what I'm saying, the clique now, and you got niggas that's 30, 40 years old rocking with me, you know what I'm saying? And we running in classrooms looking for these dudes. Next thing you know, niggas getting arrested, the choppers are in the sky. Somehow, by the grace of God, I make it home safe thinking, all right, we made it. And my mom tripping out, talking about how I was on the news. So that's just one of the crazy stories, man. But I got stories like that for days. Like our little hood down there was rough, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of beef. There was a lot of shootouts. We used to fight every weekend. Like it got to the point like people would be like, yo, don't invite them to the party, you know what I'm saying? The little Deuce Mob clique, you feel me? They ain't even want us at their house parties no more because they knew it was going to end up in a brawl or a shootout. And, you know, whatever. At this point in life, I'm trying to, you know, rewrite that. I'm trying to, you know, I know how to turn the other cheek, walk away if it's unnecessary, you know. But I guess growing up that young in Miami, you got to earn them stripes. You gotta go through that, you know what I'm saying? That struggle, you got to put in that work for me to be at this age to demand that respect. Now, I find myself not having those problems because the way I put down when I was young. Like, they already know that's not the one to try, you know, like, so, you know what I'm saying? That's just, I guess I just earned my stripes and I just don't have those type of conflicts no more, you know what I'm saying?
Could that have been avoided?
It could have been avoided, but like I said, the people I was running with and...
I mean, it's just words.
Just words.
Somebody looking at this, you guys are kids in school, it's just words. You ask somebody to take it back, they didn't take it back, so what? What's the big deal? Keep it moving. Yeah, I guess, but growing up back then, it was like a pride thing. And like I said, coming from Miami, it's a lot of pride. Like if you let something slide once, it's almost like going to prison. Like if you let that guy take your cornbread once, he gonna keep taking it. So it was two things. Me being smaller than everybody, I had something to prove. And you know what I'm saying? It was just multiple things. I guess I had to stand up for myself. Like, that's the way I was raised. Like, the people I was around wouldn't allow me to walk back to my circle knowing that I didn't stand up for myself, or I let somebody try me or pick on me, or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was never down like that. Like, I had homeboys that would tell me, let me give you a scenario. Let me put you back in the picture, right? My freshman year. This is before I went to the school that I was just talking about. I'm at a magnet school called Coral Reef, right? It's funny because anybody that knows this school, it's a magnet school, but it's a lot of smart gangsters in the school. Let's just say it like that. All right, and my freshman year, some big dude trying to pick on me, talking smack, rah, rah, rah. And I get in a fight with him, whatever, boom, boom, boom. And I set it off on him. That was just the person I am because I grew up around niggas that would be like, yo, hit that nigga, and if you start losing, we coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how we rock. 30 deep, 50 deep, every party, everywhere we went. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was just never no fear in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rise to any occasion. Like, and just with, like, I know you say, dang, you could turn the other cheek, but just where we were coming from, you couldn't turn the other cheek. You get what I'm saying? If you turned the other cheek, it would have opened the open gate for anybody to try you with any type of nonsense. What about consequences? Not worried about consequences that could happen with...
Well, I mean, the consequences came later on in life for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually glad I got the consequences I did get because I've done stuff that was crazier in my lifetime that I should have got, you know what I'm saying, jammed up for. I got homeboys that's still in there. I got, you know, like, we've been through a lot. Like, me and my team, like, for real, we've been through a lot. And, like, there could have been worse consequences for me. Like, I've dodged a bullet multiple times. And just, like, I got stories for days. Like, I could go on for days, but basically the consequences came later in life, and that's what kind of tightened me up, you know what I'm saying? I blew my opportunity to play college football. I played my freshman year. I was supposed to return. I got locked up, never seen the field again. So that was a wake-up call for me, you know what I'm saying? But everything happens for a reason. I feel like God did that for a reason because that brought me closer to my music. You know what I'm saying? It put me, and matter of fact, that's when I linked up with you. Came back from college, and that was the whole MySpace thing, and you hollered at me about the Might Be song and put it on the website. And that's when I first got, you know, introduced to DJ Smallz, Southern Smoke. You already know. So, you know, I guess it was a blessing in disguise. But, yeah, man, when we were young, we weren't thinking about the consequences. There was no consequences. Like, I got away with so much that I guess it wasn't normal, but it felt normal. Like, people wouldn't believe the stories I tell them, and they feel like, no way, that's a movie. And I'm like, we were living like that.
Okay, now I want to touch up on the losing of the scholarship in a second, but before we get into that, what type of student were you in school, generally speaking?
I was a good test taker. That's why I would say I graduated. I was a terrible student, though. Either never in class, sleeping in class. I never turned in homework. I graduated with a 2.1. I barely graduated while everybody was getting their cap and gown. I was sitting there waiting for these test scores to come in from night school. I basically did the bare minimum to play football. Like, football is my whole life. You know what I'm saying? It was football, football, football. Yeah, I know.
Did you rap in school at all?
Yeah, I always made music. I actually had a record that was very hot in my high school and amongst multiple high schools. It was called Strawberries, where I made the beat myself and whatever. It was something for the girls, you know what I'm saying? Never really took it serious, but it was moving and, you know, like, it was doing its thing. They played at the local house parties, the little skating rinks, stuff like that, you know, but my whole life was football, football, football. Like, even when I was offered a track scholarship, I took less of a deal to go play football for a Division III school when I could have been a Division I track and field, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I gave up an opportunity for FIU to go play all the way in Massachusetts where it was freezing to play football. You know what I'm saying? So,
back to the rapping, did you battle classmates in school or no?
I was never really the battle rapper type. I did used to battle on the block on 168. I grew up with these dudes. Their name was Majestic, you know what I'm saying? We were Deuce Mob. It was kind of like, you know, like rival crews, but there was people within the cliques that were very close or very tight. And, you know, we used to, like, have little ciphers on the block. Sometimes they would turn into battles. So, you know, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it would just be cool, everybody spitting. But, yeah, I was more of the type to make, like, a record. You know what I'm saying? A record people could relate to, like the song you had originally picked up back in the days, the Might Be. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people related to it because, you know, like, everybody in my neighborhood was slanging dope and this and that, and you know what I'm saying? So when they say, is you a dope boy? Well, shit, I might be. Everybody was vibing to that. You know, that was a hot record for my neighborhood, you know? I didn't know what I knew now to make a record move, but, you know, I mean, it all come with time.
Now, explain the losing of the scholarship, because I'm hearing different things. I heard you lost a scholarship around freshman year or something like that, and then I heard you say you turned down a scholarship of track and field to get a Division III.
Basically what I was saying is coming out of high school, my track and field coach told me to go run at FIU. I had a scholarship, I had an opportunity to go run for FIU. And several other better schools for track and field. I mean, I was clearly better at track and field. I took a lesser opportunity to go play football at a Division III school. As you know, like, Division III schools don't give away scholarships. So in order for them to get you to play for free or close to free, there has to be grants involved. They have to pull strings. They can't call it a scholarship. Oh. You get what I'm saying? When I came down there, I was supposed to actually go back up that summer, like a week prior to me going back up to school, back up to camp. I got locked up. So that's why I said I never seen the field again, you get what I'm saying?
So you lost the scholarship as a freshman in college?
As a freshman in college.
Okay, not as a freshman in high school.
No.
Okay, I guess that's where I was confused.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I'm talking about.
I was about to say, how'd you lose?
So then I went, all right, so after, let me reiterate that. After high school, of me making the choice to play football, I go to Massachusetts. I put in a year up there. All right, boom, I come back. It was a good season. I come back down. I'm enjoying my summer. I'm back with my knucklehead homeboys. We're going back to the people I'm talking about from high school, running up in the school with, you know. All right. Now I'm back with my homeboys from the block, you know, people I grew up with, and we're causing trouble again. And basically, I get locked up for something pretty stupid, you know, something I should have had no business doing. But I get locked up for it. God willing, the judgment was no prosse. You know what I'm saying? I was found, you know, they dropped all the charges, but it was too late. You know, the school already had found out what happened. They did not want me to return to the school. Then I had one last opportunity to play football because my friend's father was going to get me into FAMU, which was actually a better school to play football at. It wasn't going to.
That's not Division III.
Yeah, that's D1 AA, and they were going to, you know what I'm saying? I would have been privileged just because of the situation I was stepping into. It was like a last chance, and for some reason, I didn't take it. Like, I was, like, at that point, I was in the streets getting money, and I was, you know what I'm saying? I was already into the music thing. I felt like it was moving, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, yo, why go back to eating ramen noodles and in a college dorm when I got my own spot now. I got my own whip, you know. I'm over here eating lobster at restaurants and eating Benihanas every day. Like, it was like, you know, like I just didn't see it anymore. And I would never advise anybody to take the route that I took, but my route was custom fitted for me. I had to take the route I took. Like, you know, I really don't regret any of it.
I was going to ask you that. That was going to be my next question. Now, if you could do it all over again, I understand you don't regret anything. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
But if you could do it all over again, what would have happened?
If I could do it all over...
Because you had several decisions. You could have went D1 with the track and field. You bypassed that for the D3 football thing because you have a passion for football more than track and field, it sounds like. Yeah. And then you had squandered that, and then you had another opportunity at FAMU where you could have prospered into something, I don't know. Looking back at all those opportunities, missed opportunities, whatever, I understand no regrets. But if you could do it all over again, if we had the availability to rewind back in time, what would you have done differently, if anything?
If there was anything I would have done differently, I would have actually pursued the music earlier. My Uncle Larry, dog, he's a comedian down there in Florida. Very fair. He's been on Comic View, Def Jam Comedy, all that stuff, a legendary comedian down there, and he does so much for the community. He told me before leaving to play football, he told me, you're going to be right back here. He said, don't play football. He's like, you're an entertainer. I used to throw parties in high school. They were slammed. Like while all the foolishness was going on, there was some good things we did. We threw parties. I had a DJing crew. I used to DJ. It was a bunch of stuff we used to do in high school. And he told me, man, right now you got the momentum to do this. You need to continue right now while you have this whole following from your high school, from all these high schools. And I was just hard-headed. Nah, man, football, 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 football. And it actually ended up being just what he said. And at the end of the day, I ended up pursuing music. Like I say, I don't regret any of it because it builds character and made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like all those things I went through is the stuff I could rap about now, you know, and it's not falsified. Like, you could go in my hood and check the facts. You know, there's a lot of rappers out here that they're rapping about this and that, and then it's like, damn, but you pull up to the door, you can't even pay to get in a club. You know, like, how you got all this trap money, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, in your video, you had on jewelry, and then 2 seconds later, I see you in the streets, and what happened to the jewelry? You know, you're flexing foreigns, but then you're calling me about a ride. You know what I'm saying? It's just things like that. Like, I just never wanted to be one of them falsified rappers, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything, like, all of that story, like, is like, my whole story is facts. And you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna shoot a movie. I'm gonna do a lot of things, and it's just it's a great story. Like obviously right now where I'm at, I couldn't like get into details about everything, you know, but you know one day it's gonna make a hell of a movie.
So if you could do it all over again, what you're saying is you would have never went to college at all, and maybe after high school you would have went straight into the music?
I would have went straight into the music. I wouldn't have hesitated.
Well, this leads me to my next question. Maybe there's a kid right now watching this, right? Yeah. And let's say they have a passion for music. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a rapper position like you have right now. It could be another position in music. It could be DJ, producer, engineer, music video director, whatever the case may be. Let's say they're a kid in high school. High school's about to end. They have a passion for music. What's the advice there? They got to think about their next step in life. What do you tell a kid like that? Do you tell them, hey, go straight into the music? Or do you tell them if they do have the opportunity to continue their education, do education continuing and music at the same time? What's the advice there? I know everybody has, you know, more details than that, but generally speaking, what's the advice there?
I would advise them to finish school. And with that being said, there is one thing I regret. I regret not finishing college. I'll give you that one. I advise anybody to go to school, like, and to finish school. Like you can hear it in my voice, you can hear me talking, like with all that's been said and my whole background story, I'm still educated. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's for real. There's nothing cool about being dumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm educated to. I got my high school diploma. Obviously, I did a little bit of college. Like, you know, I'm not a dumb kid. You know, like, that's why I think I could handle the business of this music game the way I can. And me and my partner have built this infrastructure from the bottom up the way we can. So I would tell them to attempt to finish school. If it doesn't work out, then I understand, because sometimes when you're following your dreams, like, you can't give both things the attention. But at least attempt to, you know what I'm saying? I went to college, I did as much as I could, and I sat my parents down one day and I told them, hey, look, man, school's not for me. Like, I can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying? This is not what I want to do. I'm not passionate about it. That's when I realized the only thing that kept me going during high school was football. And then when you took out the football factor, it was like there was no passion for school. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, I would advise, like, any kid, I would advise them to pursue their education. You know, I'm not advising them to just drop out, but there's certain things that I would have to say don't make sense to me, like going to college for business administration or something like that. I mean, I have to be honest, like, I wouldn't agree with that. To me, I feel like business is hands-on. I got friends that graduated with high scholars for business, and you're the manager of a Foot Locker. You know what I'm saying? You still don't own your own company, or you're still not doing what you set out to do. You know, and I feel like business is hands-on. The same way you invest in that education that you're gonna have to pay somebody back, that same money you could spend investing in yourself and building your business in trial and error. And you can build something from the ground up, and it's yours. You're not working for nobody.
Just curious, what are good genres to get a degree in? If you don't agree with business administration as a major, what are some good majors you think college is good for?
I mean, like, if you're doing something like becoming a doctor or a lawyer, or, you know, it's a lot of things you could do in college. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different professions. It varies. In each profession, there's multiple professions you could get into. So, you know, like, I'm not knocking college or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, for instance, like, if they obviously want to be an entrepreneur, like you're saying, they want to be a DJ, or they want to pursue something in the music industry, I feel like with the music industry or certain businesses like that, it's hands-on. Like school can't do too much for you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to show an executive a paper when he built his company from the ground up with his own money out of his own pocket, didn't go to school, and he's the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. He doesn't really care about your resume. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something else that will get you that job, you know, like, if you want that job, because you could do the same thing he did.
And just to be clear, there are different schools for different things. There are what's called technical schools that are specific for certain things. So if somebody wanted to be a DJ, there are technical schools to be a DJ. There are technical schools to be an engineer.
Yes.
I don't know of any schools to be a rapper, but, you know, other music video directing, filmography, videography. There's schools for that. That might not necessarily be quote-unquote college, but a more specific school just for that.
Yeah.
I just want to let people know that are watching that there are, you know, things of that nature as well.
No, I would agree with that. You're right. There's the SAEs and the Full Sails. And that's why I said, like, if you could do both, then go ahead and do both. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I said, like, I mean, basically, I guess maybe it's my dream, or it's other people I know's dream, but, like, I've had this dream for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? And I just always knew what it was going to be.
For the record, what year did you drop out of college? Was it after the freshman year?
I graduated 07.
No, but what year? So did you complete the freshman year? Did you?
I completed the whole freshman year. I came home for the
sophomore.
Came home for the summer and never made it to the sophomore year.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't start my education after that though. I went to Miami-Dade for a little bit, then I attended UM, and then I dropped out from UM permanently. I never went to school again after that.
And why did you attend those two different schools, and why did you drop out?
Well, I figured I did it to make my parents happy, to keep them quiet. You know what I'm saying? I was still staying at home around the time. Like, I guess I just had to do what it took to make them happy. You know what I'm saying? But
go ahead.
But like, I don't know. Like when I was kind of like, it got to a point like I didn't really need to make them happy anymore. I had my own place. I had my own vehicle, and I had to tell them like, yo, listen, this is me. Like I'm your son. I love you. This is me though. Like I can't change who I am, and this school thing is not for me. You know, like I'm not gonna live the rest of my life doing something I don't want to do just to say that, you know, I made y'all happy. Y'all gotta be happy with me the way I am.
What were your parents' reactions to that?
At that point, they accepted it because they knew I really did, you know what I'm saying? I really did try with the school thing. They knew that I really did put in the work, you know what I'm saying? So they knew it wasn't for a lack of effort, and they knew that I was smart enough to know what I was doing. They knew that whatever I was going to take on, I was going to be successful in.
Now, back to the Massachusetts school, they let you go from playing football after you were charged with certain charges. You weren't found guilty of them, but just being charged with something, they were able to let you go like that?
Yeah, they wrote me a letter saying they knew what happened and they were letting me go.
There was no chance of you getting reinstated after saying, hey, look, I'm not charged with anything now. The charges are dropped. I'm free and clear.
I'll be honest, I never even tried.
Oh.
By the time the case took place, I was already going to a community college, Miami-Dade College. Oh. So by the time that took place, I was already enrolled in another school, and then when I found out I was innocent, like, the year was almost done, you know what I'm saying?
So they revoke your scholarship? Is that what happens? They just take it away and say?
They kicked me out the school completely.
Oh, okay.
And whole. Mm. Yeah, like they kicked me out the school. So
when you did UM and the Miami-Dade, that's something you had to pay out of pocket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.